Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sip Happens. I'm Ishita,
I'm Priyanshi.
I'm Aditi.
and in this episode, we discuss a spicy topic about dowry and alimony. And this is because mainly whenever there is a discussion and girls say that dowry is wrong, there is a man who definitely comes up with this that if you don't support dowry, then why do you support alimony? So in this episode, we break this down that dowry and alimony are two different things and are governed very differently under the Indian laws. So let's get into this episode.
Guys, every few weeks in India, a headline flashes: young woman dies by suicide over dowry deaths. We scroll past it, maybe whisper like how tragic, and we move on. But have we ever stopped and asked, like, why is this still happening in 2025? We have laws, we have education, we have campaigns, and yet families, sometimes educated, wealthy, urban, still quietly negotiate the gift list before marriage.
Because guess what? Dowry isn't just money, it's a system of how deeply patriarchy values women through the lens of what they bring and not who they are. In India, according to a data of NCRB, 65,000 dowry deaths took place in 2023, which is chilling because if you see on a daily basis, 18 women in India died on the count of dowry death violences. And the most disturbing part about it is how people normalize it by saying, we are not demanding dowry, we're just accepting gifts, which is for the safety of your child, your daughter. But if we go back in history, it was called as Tridhan, and it was something which the girl's family voluntarily gave for their daughter. But patriarchy has always twisted it.
Yeah, exactly as Priyanshi said. So dowry is like an extortion of money from the bride side, and then it's like a payment that you're making for the bride to get accepted in the marital house, and often it also leads to harassment, and the data is very clear on that. This is the reason why stricter laws related to dowry and why it is illegal.
Last year, there were so many dowry deaths reported in India. In August 2024 itself, a woman from Uttar Pradesh, she died by suicide and she wrote her note not on paper but across her own body, like basically her arms, legs, stomach, naming her husband and in-laws, describing like how they demanded 20 lakh cash. And basically her story went viral, not because it was unique, but because it was so brutally clear. She said that she was tired of being treated as a wallet and not a wife. So these are not isolated stories, they are part of the same social disease. Every one of them begins the same way with a demand dressed as a request and ends with a woman feeling she is worth less than the gifts her family gave.
Yeah, and you know what's worst is when people ask you why you're against dowry and not against alimony. Like, alimony is a very basic, very simple concept as compared to dowry. How many deaths have been reported because somebody was asked to pay alimony? That is something that should be answered.
So after marriage, we talk about love, loyalty, and family, but after divorce, we talk about money. And that's where the word alimony enters the conversation. A word that can mean justice for one person and punishment for another. A word that's supposed to bring balance, but often ends up creating new battles. So, what is alimony really?
The dictionary meaning of alimony is financial support, which is provided by the spouse post divorce. So, if you see the data, and with respect to women, they work 3 to 5 times more as compared to men, and they're still unpaid and underpaid. And not only that, only 20% of the women form a part of the formal workspace, which means 80% women's work still goes unnoticed, and that forms a part of the care economy. But we still somehow prioritize the monetized economy over the care economy. And so when the marriage ends, it's like women, they should not end up financially strained. Hence, I feel alimony for women is not just a favor. It is recognition of their economic contribution, which was invisible in the marriage.
And the key, that is the key difference. So basically, alimony is not like you are paying money to a woman for that matter. The most important thing is that section 144 of the BNSS, and we'll insert the wording of the section here, it does not talk about alimony in a biased way. It does not anywhere state that, a woman has to be paid money. In fact, it's very gender neutral. What it actually says is that any person who is dependent on the other spouse financially has to be paid a certain maintenance amount so that after the divorce happens, that person does not has to go in a situation where he cannot bear his own expenses financially. And it's more about the person who sacrificed the career opportunities in this marriage has to be paid alimony. So anytime anybody says women are the one who get huge amounts of money in alimony and it's like a luxury to them. No, that's not the case at all. There have been cases where the courts have given alimony to men also because they were involved in the house and sacrificed their career opportunities.
Yeah,
So I
so
feel
there has been, actually कुछ बोला क्या?
बोल लो मैं बाद में बोलूँ.
Yeah, so there has been this case of Supreme Court of India. It is Vinay Kumar Srivastava versus State of UP, and it is a 2018 case. So in this case, the Supreme Court clarified that maintenance under Section 125 of CRPC, which is now 144 of BNSS, is not restricted to only women, and that a man can also claim maintenance from his wife if he is unable to support himself due to any reasonable cause, including ill health or other valid reasons. And there are a lot of cases wherein men have been provided with the alimony from their wife if they are the dependent one and are not able to provide for themselves.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I read this one thing online. Sociologist Ira Trivedi, she once wrote that marriage in India is an economic transaction masquerading an emotional commitment. We celebrate weddings like an investment, but we treat divorce like a debt recovery. You know, the same people who justify spending 30 lakhs over a wedding go silent when a man or a woman, for that instance, demands a 5 lakh dowry.
And also I feel, you know, recent trends show that courts have been dealing with this matter very differently. They're also one-time settlements. Now the thing is, bro, conventionally, if we look at it, usually it is the norm that the bride side has to pay the entire expense of the marriage. It's changing now, of course, but still there exist these scenarios where the bride sides pay for the marriage, right? So when the divorce happens and there's a settlement that is happening and the bride side is trying to recover the expenses of the marriage, I don't think that's wrong at the first place because they paid for it and the marriage is dissolved now. So I don't think there should be a debate from the side of men here that, oh my god, they're taking this payment, the woman is taking alimony. First the women sacrificed, if it's women, if because maximum time and alimony is paid to women. Because why? Because it is considered that once a woman gets married, she has to sacrifice her career because that's the general norm and we have normalized it so much. So that if you're normalizing that, right, and once the marriage is over, is she not entitled to recover all those years she has put? And if that recovery is happening financially, I don't think that's wrong. And there are cases where courts have taken alimony gender neutral. So it's not a debate versus, dowry versus alimony. They're two very different concepts. One relates to exploitation of one side, whereas other is a remedy that a person gets as a in terms of financial protection after marriage.
But debate versus dowry questions comes in when there, because we have seen that there's a growing section of people who feel that men are now on the receiving end of exploitation. Like if we see the Atul Subhash's case from Bangalore who committed suicide. So they say if a woman can earn, why should the man still pay? Or if the marriage didn't work, why one must keep paying forever? And basically, honestly, these are some fair questions to ask because equality shouldn't mean like burdening one gender over the another. So what are your takes on the same?
I mean, see, if I look at the cases, right, the one you stated, I have also seen cases in the courts where the woman was demanding exorbitant amount in terms of alimony, and the judge said, no, that demand of yours is very unreasonable. You cannot expect
Yeah.
to have a luxurious life payment for yourself. And I'm not saying that you should burden one gender, to be honest. If the woman is well capable of earning, but again, what I understand is, and what I have gathered as information, it's more like when the court sees that a man is more financially doing better than the woman, or
Stable, yeah.
maybe cases where with the woman, the child custody goes with the woman and she's the one who's taking care of the children, that amount increases in terms of maintenance that is given for raising your child and everything. But I think the courts follow the principles, and sometimes I'm not saying that of course all the time they are 100% fair. Sometimes the decision can go either way, but there's always a chance to appeal the decision. That's a different debate altogether. But I feel the cases where this is unfair, it's not that the percent is not high, but the way that the people put it out, if you're against dowry, well, alimony is also money. So I don't think the comparison is about money. I think it's about the intention and what it propagates.
Basically, dowry and alimony, they both involve suffering, unfairness, legal or financial exploitation, mental health consequences. But the valid concerns here is that every law has the potential for misuse, and it's legitimate to demand fairness, due process, checks and balances. So instead, legal systems must ensure that false allegations or inflated demands are not weaponized, causing real harm.
Yeah,
And any mental health stress for anyone in such disputes should be definitely taken seriously.
yeah, but again, you cannot compare dowry and alimony. I'm not saying
Because there is no comparison. Because there is no comparison.
Yeah, I'm not saying, alimony. Oh my God, a woman should get alimony. But I'm saying that if a woman is not financially stable and she's getting that, it's okay. It's okay because after marriage, she has nowhere to go, right? She has to be on her own and she does not have a career. If she was
And
in the house,
living in a society like India, in India, marriage isn't just a social contract, like it's treated as something very sacrosanct. And a woman is often raised to believe that her husband's home is her destiny. Many women, they leave their jobs, their cities, their comfort zone, their identities to build a family. They invest their whole time, their youth, their emotional energy into supporting the husbands, caring for their in-laws, and maintaining households, quietly putting their own ambitions on hold. So, if after all that the marriage ends in divorce, why should she walk away with nothing? Why shouldn't she ask for alimony?
also, I feel the problem is what you said, you know, the fact this is very normalized that a woman's identity is her husband, but the husband's identity is his career. Now, if we look at it in that perspective, and then, bro, I think it's only fair if you are giving a financial support after the divorce happens. And also, people need to understand one thing that, when there's stories about alimony pop up on your Instagram, and then the entire male community is like, लड़कियों का तो अच्छा है भाई, alimony मिल जाती है शादी के बाद, लड़कियां शादी ही इसलिए करती हैं. And in fact, this entire divorce of famous cricketer Yuzi Chahal and Dhanashree happened. सबका यही था, bro, and everybody was going on her page and commenting, हाँ, you gold digger and all that. Bro, first of all these numbers that pop up, they're not real, okay? And if we consider about the big splits also, the alimony is paid and the financial condition of the spouse, and if the male is paying, it is seen कि भाई तुम्हारे पास कितने पैसे हैं.
Hmm.
और उसके बाद अगर if that person is really rich, okay, and that 6 figure alimony मिल रही है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल बिल गेट्स की वाइफ को मिली थी तो वो उतना अमीर था इसलिए मिली थी, बट दैट इज नॉट द रियलिटी, ग्राउंड रियलिटी. इवन इफ फीमेल इज गेटिंग alimony in India, भाई बहुत बार इट्स ओनली अमाउंट इज लाइक 20,000. सो जब भी alimony का बात होती है लोगों को लगता है इट्स ऑलवेज अ बिग नंबर, ऐसा लड़कों के साथ बुरा होता है, बट आई हैव सीन केसेस वेयर the alimony amount is so less also, and I don't think 20,000 is enough for anybody in this economy to survive. तो उतना थोड़ा ही अमाउंट मिलता है, एंड उसके पीछे एक लड़की ने कितना सैक्रिफाइस किया होता है. एंड सम ऑल्सो लिव इन टॉक्सिक हाउस होल्ड्स वेयर देयर इज कॉन्स्टेंट nagging from the in-laws and everything. So who is going to pay for all the mental harm that has been caused in this entire marriage? At least 20,000, not even the therapy amount. Therapists cost much more than that.
Yeah, I also feel it is about dignity, because in marriage, often we redistribute roles and not the resources. So when it must end, the law has to redistribute things fairly, even if the resources. And as our respected ex-CGI said, the object of maintenance or alimony is not to punish the spouse, but to make sure that the weaker one lives with dignity. So I think, yes, in case of alimony for a woman, it's not about dependency, it's about justice, recognition, and equality in real terms.
Yeah, and also I think it needs to be understood, why only alimony for the longest time is considered कि लड़कियों को दी जाती है, बिकॉज भाई हिस्टोरिकली लड़कियां ही सैक्रिफाइस करती दिखी हैं करियर. Women are supposed to take care of the household, and that is why that amount is paid to her. But now that the trend is changing, so the way alimony is paid is also changing. A man is also paid, but the fact that you start targeting women get luxurious life. No, the alimony is not paid for them to have a luxurious life and sip margaritas. No, it is very to continue a basic living after marriage, for that matter.
Right. And also, when people they say that dowry deaths and alimony suicides are the same, what they are really doing is they are expressing hurt, and not always, it's not coming always from a logical point of view. They are comparing two forms of suffering which are born from the same flawed mindset that basically marriage is a transaction and not a partnership. They are like dowry comes from a world where the bride's family must pay to be accepted. Alimony, at its worst misuse, comes from a world where one partner must pay to be free. In both cases, the love it gets replaced by negotiations, and marriage it turns into a marketplace.
Yeah, and also I understand that, alimony becomes a burden. If a male is paying it and the amount is huge and he himself is suffering in the career, okay, it's a burden on him as well. And I'm not saying that उसके साथ ऐसा नहीं होता. But when we talk about this topic, it's we pick up the major percentages. And realistically, dowry deaths are more than the other thing.
Definitely.
That is why it is a hot topic. So that needs to be understood. But इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि other aspect of it ki alimony also becomes a burden on one party. We don't consider it, but we're talking about major numbers here.
And I feel that is why the law sometimes leans on one side, not out of bias, but out of balance. Because until in this society, gender roles and opportunities truly equalize, alimony in women's favor is not regressive. I think it's remedial.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because of course the law needs to be changed and everything, but considering bro right now also I feel कि कितना भी change हो गया and no matter हमने कितना equality लाने का कोशिश कर दिया है, but still the situation of women is not as good as it looks from outside. And the thing is,
True.
sitting in bigger cities like Delhi, Bombay, we do not know the reality because I have seen, if you go, मतलब I have literally heard people talking about it, people who are from major northern Indian states. And if you see states like UP and Bihar, वहाँ पे dowry का concept बहुत aggressively
Very
exist
prevalent,
करता
yeah.
है. And there are things like, petty things like, the bride side negotiates with the groom side on a dowry. How? That हमारी लड़की सुंदर है तो थोड़े से पैसे तो आप कम करो. So basically इस पूरे प्रोसेस में एक लड़की को एक ऑब्जेक्ट की तरह देखा जाता है कि इफ शी इज ब्यूटीफुल, इफ शी हैज अ सर्टेन स्किन कलर, तो कम डाउरी देनी पड़ेगी. एंड वो जो ब्यूटी स्टैंडर्ड्स लोगों ने सेट किया कि अगर शी इज अ फेयर स्किन टोन तो इतना, एंड अगर थोड़ा सा स्किन टोन थोड़ा सा वार्म साइड पे है तो दे लाइक नहीं नहीं हम आपकी लड़की की खूबसूरती पे कर रहे हैं कॉम्प्रोमाइज, तो आप डाउरी और बढ़ाओ. सो दैट इज द रियलिटी, दैट ग्राउंड रियलिटी दैट गोज ऑन.
And I think so, bro, frankly, in my family as well, my cousin, when her marriage was getting fixed and it was an arranged marriage setup, and people were talking about dowry, ki theek hai, they have demanded this much. And my uncle, he was like, okay, talking. And in between, I just jumped and said, ki, dude, like, how are you even okay with it? Everybody there shut me that tum choti ho and you're not allowed to like speak. It's not right for you to speak here. Let us decide. So I think so, people should like, unlearn whatever is there in their head and in their mindset to actually bring the change.
But I think the thing is also, ऐसा is in the mindset of people that if your child is getting, like if your daughter is getting married, right, and she is not working for that matter,
Right.
they have this fear because historically, if we see that women have been harassed because of it, they have been labeled as ये कुछ करती तो है नहीं बस फ्री का खाती है. People say these things and are under this fear. So even when they hate it the most, for the security of their child, they are okay
They
paying
end
that
up,
amount कि भाई
yeah.
एटलीस्ट हमारा बच्चा सेफ रहे, उसको ऐसा ये सब ना फेस करना पड़े. And the fact that they forget is कि if your daughter is not working, bro, but she'll go there, she'll provide for the husband. And providing for the husband does not only means that you have to bring money to the table. Doing the household thing also counts as working. It may look
True.
like less fancy, but it's more tiring, to be honest.
And I think this thing will go on until we build a world in which marriage is like truly equal. And I think once that happens, we won't need gendered alimony anymore. Like we won't have to say specify. And for that,
I think it should start with the very basic that instead of collecting money to pay the dowry, the family should start putting the money on the girl child's education so that she is financially stable enough so that her rights won't be overlooked in a marriage. And even when the marriage ends, she will be in that position to live on her own and she will not have to ask for maintenance or anything from her spouse. I think that's very basic. The entire way
Yeah.
to end this problem of dowry and everything is only education.
But still, a
maybe
lot of educated women getting married are also under the notion of dowry.
Yeah, I get
अब
that. They are.
अभी भाई like literally back and दूसरे cousin की शादी ऐसे fix हो रही है and the guy is earning 70 lakhs per annum but he's asking dowry of 50 lakhs. I'm like जब आप खुद 70 लाख कमा रहे हो तो why you even asking for 50 lakhs? Like what is the point?
Bro, because I think men feel, that is the problem. That is the problem, that men feel that if the woman is not working, she'll be at,
No, but the woman is working.
he has that patriarchal mindset, which has not gone even after working in a corporate. So nothing can be done about those people because that is in their head. It's okay. I would suggest any girl should not marry people like them because they are sick, honestly.
These kind of people are actually sick to the core.
This is
But
rightly the objectifying women, that लड़की है तो and you know why? क्योंकि लड़कों को लगता है मैं 70 कमा रहा हूँ तो 50 लाख की डाउरी तो बनती, क्यों बनती is the question. If you ask them why, they will not have an answer to that. क्योंकि ये तो होता ही है, क्यों होता है?
I heard from one of my relative, he is into government service, and he mentioned that in his groups of all the civil servants, they had this thing ki, we'll see or we'll compare who amongst us gets the highest dowry.
Yeah,
This is what they were comparing.
it's not even going to surprise me because most of the people, you know, specifically in some states, are like, we want a government job. If they are male by gender, they want a government job. Why? Because government job पे इतना तो मेरा market price होगा ही, इतनी salary पे मेरा market price होगा. And somebody was mentioning to me, some of his friend is from a certain state. I don't want to name the state. And he was like, and he's earning like 1 CR, okay, per annum. And he's like, मेरी salary पे मेरा market price मेरे को dowry में कम से कम 1 सवा करोड़ तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. And I was like, and he's like,
Why isn't there a dowry for women? Like, suppose if we are earning 1 CR, why aren't we getting paid for the same dude? We are providing everything. We are maintaining a household. We are working. Why aren't you giving us the money?
या that is what, if you ask for the money, तो फिर लड़कियां तो शादी इसलिए करती है कि वो गोल्ड डिगर. I don't
They are gold
understand
diggers.
this concept that you asking money to the bright side is not gold digging. But if a girl looks at the guy's financial stability and finances before getting married, that is gold digging. Now, how?
And like, do these men even have goals with them that they call as gold diggers? Why?
I mean, they feel,
What thoughts on prenuptial agreements? Like, will they help in India?
but I think considering today's scenario, they're not enforceable in India. But
They're not, yeah.
if we look at it in a future perspective, I think they can really help because usually when it comes to on the court to decide kitna amount dena hai in terms of alimony, if the question comes to alimony, I think that becomes a very long and tiring process. Prenups come into existence, then I feel some things can be dealt in a smoother way because they'll state, this
They
how
clarify the financial expectations.
they've clarified this is the asset and all of that. And I think courts can refer to it, and the entire process of divorce right now, it's like
Hmm.
very tedious. It can become easy. So yeah.
And it can protect both the sides.
Yeah, it can
Nobody will be
both the
harmed.
sides. I'm talking from both the perspectives.
Rate at which divorces are growing in India, I think at some point of time, prenups will be the need of day, something like that, because it will then guarantee then, and it will probably say that we are in this marriage as equals and we are clear about our boundaries. And I think it makes the finances less complex. Like if you both are on the same page before getting married, it's a win-win situation for you both. I think it's not feasible right now to have prenups in India. But I would definitely like to have a prenup if I'm ever getting married.
I don't want to get married. But
Yeah, even
if you are given a chance to give one message to this episode, what would that be?
We'll leave you with this. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership and not an exchange. If we need money to make someone's daughter acceptable or to make someone's son responsible, maybe the problem isn't the money, it's in our values and our mindset, and we definitely need to unlearn the same.
And I think when this partnership ends, it is the lob's job to make sure that both walk away with dignity and not with debt. And I hope there comes a time where dowry sounds as outdated as a VHS tape. And
That when you enter a marriage, you should enter it with respect, and when you exit the marriage, you should do it with respect. So yeah, stop exploiting one side. With this, we end our episode on dowry versus the alimony debate. If you're watching this episode, please spread this awareness to anybody who supports dowry and clear the air on alimony. And yeah, that's all. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And see you in the next one.